Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan and I am currently a 6th grade math and science teacher, and I am currently teaching virtually like most people. I also love all things Sissy. So this video is going to be about what is different. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what is different right now? If you're a first year teacher or a new teacher, a lot of things are different right now. This is not how teaching normally goes, guys. I'm only a 2nd year teacher, so I've only had 1 year of teaching before this, and that year was cut short. I only got to teach in person up until mid-March, and then we went virtually, and we are still in my school district. I currently teach in Maryland, and we are still completely virtual. I do not go into my building. I do have the option to teach from my classroom, but who wants to teach from an empty classroom? So right now, there are a lot of things that are different, and this video, I'm just going to go over some key things that are different, that if you're a new teacher or you're new to a school district, or you're just wondering what it's like in different parts of the world right now with teaching, these are some of the key differences that I have noticed. So number 1, evaluations. So Maryland is currently coming out and trying to figure out what's happening with evaluations, and I am currently evaluated on the Danielson framework. How this will work, I'm not really sure. Currently, I have heard a few things that they are going to get rid of some of the in-person domains, so the things that you would see when you're in the classroom, and they're going to try to replace them with some other things that you might see online, but it's a lot different. And they're not really sure how they're going to do that yet in my school district. Let me know down in the comments how you know you're being evaluated, if you even are being evaluated. I heard some places aren't even being evaluated, so drop it below in the comments. Online. We are online currently. We are not in person at all. So I don't see half of my kids. Most of my classes are around 20 to 25 kids. I do have a few smaller classes, a few larger classes. But I know about what half of them look like. I could not tell you what some of their favorite colors are, or what some of or how their voice sounds, or when they get angry. I could tell you when some of them get angry, but I could not tell you what half of them like, what they sound like, what they dress like, what their favorite colors are. And that's just because we're virtual and it's hard to get them to kind of open up to a screen, which I completely understand. But it's really different. I see a lot we use Google Meets at my school district, so I see a lot of just random dots, where if you're not familiar with Google Meets, if they don't have their camera on, it's just a little circle with their initials in it. So I see a lot of those dots every day, and it does take its toll, because it does sometimes feel like I'm talking to a computer. Which is kind of funny because I'm doing that now. But it does feel like a lot of the time that I'm talking to no one and no one's there. Another thing that's changed this year is I never see anyone. I am a very social person. I loved always walking down the hall and seeing my colleagues and maybe popping in and talking to them, or going down the hall and just observing another teacher if they would let me. And just seeing the different kids in the school, getting to know them, those ones that like to roam the hallways. So just seeing those people. I don't live with anyone that I normally work with, and I obviously don't see those kids. So I'm pretty much alone while I'm teaching during the school day. I'm alone by myself in my room, just talking to a camera all day. And it is insane to me. I love talking to people. I really miss seeing people. Sometimes I'll just go out, decide to like Walmart and just go walk around in Walmart. I don't even need anything. I don't even buy anything. I just go and walk around to be around people because it's so boring being by yourself all the time. So there's another thing that's kind of new, and it's that everyone is a new teacher. So if you're a new teacher or new to a school district, you're not alone. A lot of people don't know what they're doing right now. And they do throw out the phrase, oh, everyone's a new teacher, which is kind of cute, and kind of reassuring for people like me who are a second year teacher and don't really necessarily know everything. But there is a difference between being a new teacher and being new to online teaching. Because as a new teacher, you have absolutely nothing. You may have a rough idea of the curriculum. You may have a rough idea of what's going on. But at least for me personally, last year was a struggle. I literally was maybe planned a day ahead, maybe. And I was always trying to play catch up. I would miss things. I would miss some deadlines. And it was really frustrating trying to get everything done. And also trying to learn your curriculum, learn the kids, learn the school. The first few months, I didn't even know where the art room was. I just guessed. So, as a new teacher that's not only new to a school but new to online learning, it's really challenging because those older teachers who have been teaching a while, they know their curriculum. They know their resources. They know where they can find this, and they have stuff made from past years that they can maybe just adapt to online teaching. But as a new teacher, you don't have that stuff. And normally what I would do is I would run down the hallway to my other two teammates and just be like, what are you doing today? I need something to do. Can you help me? And they would just give it to me, and they would be like, yeah, sure, I have this worksheet. Go ahead and use it. And they would help me if I wasn't sure what they meant in the curriculum. Sometimes in our curriculum they want us to teach a bunch of different ways to do something, and I'm not familiar with a certain way. So I would just go to them and they would help me out. Well, being online, you don't have that. So actually, when everyone says they're a new teacher, don't downplay that, please, because it does make some newer teachers, it does make them feel comfortable, but it also does kind of worry them because then that makes them feel like they can't come to you about things. It makes them feel that they might not be able to get help from you. And you do still have, if you're an older teacher, you do still have your resources from past years that you can use. It's not like you've never taught this before. You've taught this before. You're just teaching it in a different way, which is what I feel is getting very misconstrued and lost in that message of we're all new teachers. Because if you've been teaching for 15 years, that's a lot different than someone who's never taught before. So please just be careful when you're using that word. Something else that has changed is that lunches. So I don't know about your school district, but in my school, I typically get a 30-minute lunch if I'm lucky. So being 6th grade, having the kids, that's their first year in the school, we are supposed to walk them down and walk them back from the cafeteria every single day for lunch. And so I lose a lot of time because of that, and it's only a 30-minute lunch. Because of that, my classroom is actually on the opposite end of the school from the cafeteria. So my school it's all one floor, but it's very large. It's very long. It can take about, if I'm moving, it can take almost 3 to 4 minutes to get down the hallway. And then when you add kids onto that, it can take us sometimes 10 minutes to get down a hallway. So I lose, by the time I walk my kids all the way down, I make sure they're settled, and I walk all the way back to my classroom to eat lunch, I've wasted about 15 minutes of my lunch. And then I have to leave about 5 minutes early to go to the bathroom and go be there on time to pick my kids up. So I really only have had 10 minutes to eat when we were in person. Now that we're virtual, this is one of the upsides to being virtual. We get a 70-minute lunch. That is crazy. 70 minutes to eat food. That is so much time. I can get so much done with that time. I don't have to walk anywhere. I don't have to get up. All I do is have to go to my kitchen and get some food and come back, and I can work while I eat, which I'm sure most teachers do right now with everything they're doing. But that is a big upside, and I hope that they somehow continue that into our school year when we come back, because that is just so glorious, and it's really needed for us and for the kids too, because they need time to decompress from their first half of their day and get ready for the second half of their day. Maybe not 70 minutes, but 45-minute lunch. I would be okay with 45-minute lunch. Let me know down in the comments how long your lunch is right now and whether you're teaching virtual or in person. There are not enough hours in the day. So right now, our school is, we have a lot to do. We have to track our D&E students. We have to call parents that are, of kids that aren't showing up. We have to do our SLOs, our TDPs, all your teacher evaluation stuff. You got to plan lessons. You got to grade. It's a lot, and you also have to teach in that time. So between planning for lessons, making materials if I need to make some things, which I try not to make, I have hoarded. Teacher tip, hoard everything. Keep everything and keep a digital and a regular copy because you will need it. So I keep everything. I've kept everything from my first year, and I'm now searching through it, sorting and picking out what I need, what I don't need. But if I need to make stuff, I make stuff. So between making stuff, grading, preparing for class, finding resources that I need, setting up their asynchronous lessons, and calling parents and teaching, if I totaled it up of everything, if I were to do a little bit of all of that every single day, it would be more than 24 hours. It takes forever to do some of these things, and I am so thankful I started a little bit early into the summer. I started about 2 weeks before we went back, started setting some things up, and I'm in a groove now where I've got it going. But those first few weeks, that's rough. And for someone who also works a second job outside of school and does some other things, like I'm also supposed to do a club, I also coach track. It's a lot. There's not really a lot of time in the day to get them done. Now, if you're thinking of a standard work day from 7 to 5 o'clock, you're not getting it done. It's just not going to happen. I typically end up planning or grading till about 8, sometimes 10 o'clock at night. And I do take an hour in there to cook dinner sometimes, but that's a lot of time. That's time we're not getting paid for. So my advice to you would be to pick what's most necessary and pick a time where you are not going to work. If you say, I'm going to only work till 8 o'clock today, only work till 8 o'clock today. Whatever you don't get done, whoever's parents you don't call them the next day. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to expect to continue on like this? None of us know when this is going to end. So you need to maintain your personal health and your personal happiness and what you're most interested in. You need to find time to do those things to make yourself happy, or you are going to be exhausted within the first 2 months. You're going to be exhausted by December. I'm already exhausted, but you're definitely going to be exhausted if you are not planning those times accordingly. Now, I am a night owl, so I do like to do things at night, and I know that about myself, but if you're not a night owl, pick a different time and maybe do it before the kids get up. Maybe do some work before you start teaching. You just got to pick and choose those times. But most of all, making sure that you stick to those deadlines. If you're going to be done by 8 o'clock, you're going to be done by 8 o'clock. And whatever doesn't get done, you'll figure it out. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell so you're notified every time I post. Down in the comments, tell me some things that you noticed that are different this year that I didn't mention. If you would like me to mention them, put them down in the comments below. If you would like to see anything, also feel free to write that down in the comments. And I hope you all have a magical day. Bye.